Hello. So, a Tuesday top tip. The ever-growing requirements on us around compliance. So, I did a post on Friday that some of the stuff we'd learnt around CCS, but particularly some of the mood music around compliance requirements in bids and tenders. For context, out the back of the implementation of the new Procurement Act in February, there is a far greater onus on contracting authorities, public sector bodies, to ensure compliance with their specifications and requirements, and also manage our performance in delivery. And so there's a school of thought, and we're seeing it already in the marketplace, that we will find much greater onus on us to demonstrate our compliance with what they're looking for and their requirements, and perhaps less and less actual quality questions where we're trying to convince them. So there's been some posts by some competitors and some mood music around this. This isn't really a surprise. So way back when I did a podcast episode with Rebecca Rees from Trowers and Hamlin about the implementation of the new Act before it was in, where we talked about a greater onus on us in capture pre-bid to help clients understand the Act and how to procure things most effectively. And so, first of all, if you're not engaging with clients upstream, well, you get what you ask for, really. If you're sitting there waiting for tenders to happen to you and you've got a bit of victim culture, you're going to have a problem. I've got a client, for instance, who are pretty good at the capture bit, actually, and CAN bit. But they're still receiving tenders with an additional 300 compliance questions that all require a 200-word response, perhaps, and all of those responses are scored along the same lines in terms of scoring criteria. Criteria on answering all of the question, added value, experience, evidence, etc., etc. So that's a massive task. So what do we do about this? So some ideas in terms of how we fend this off. So first of all, if I were you, I would start putting out some PR, some engagement, some thought leadership, and try to influence our clients and particularly their procurement colleagues in how to procure our services without putting us off. In effect, we are going to see a shift in the marketplace to bidders being ever more selective and providing less competition to public bodies, unless we get a grip on this. They're asking too much of us in too little time, and the cost of bid is going through the roof. And so we all together, really collectively, need to get the best outcomes for the public purse and for the population. And so I would start to work with clients to try to co-solution how we do this. So do some PR, some engagement. Unfortunately, the professional body for bidding, the APMP, is fairly lightweight. Lots of really well-meaning volunteers, etc., but we do not have anyone senior enough engaging UK government at the heart of it, Cabinet Office, Crown Commercial Services, with any gravitas or impact. And so we can't rely on them. No one really cares what they think. And so we need to do this ourselves, unfortunately. So I'm trying to do this stuff for you, with you, but certainly our senior colleagues in bidding, we need to get ahead of these things with our clients and get your senior colleagues to see this problem coming and cost to your business and try and avert it. So I would then also implore you to map out your new funnel and your key opportunities, what your pipeline is, because the game has changed. And so let's try and understand how clients are going to buy in this new environment. It's likely you're going to see a much greater onus on competitive dialogues, pre-bid meetings and engagement, mid-bid meetings, post-tender interviews, and perhaps proper competitive dialogue as a route, as they're trying to test you more in person and co-solution with you more as AI is having an impact. Clients' perception is changing around our proposals. They believe they're seeing convergence as less mature people use ChatGTP to try and answer tenders without thinking it through. Please stop doing that. Use Copilot directed at your own solutions and your own content and the internet, but don't share your stuff on the internet, obviously, through ChatGTP. So because they feel like they're seeing a convergence, they're going to want to see you in person and work with your people to really understand and test that you're the real deal. So map out what that funnel is going to look like, how clients are going to buy things moving forwards, and how we influence that, and particularly understand what your key opportunities are that you have to prioritise, and then deploy capture on those as best as you can. So particularly the stuff that APMP's syllabus and my competitors are up to, there's some gaps in that, particularly around co-solutioning with clients and shaping procurements with clients. Our content in our training and thinking, our articles, blog posts that you can find help unpack some of that for you. But it's absolutely crucial that you get your key delivery people that will be their humans in a room with their humans far, far before a tender, a year before a tender exercise, trying to shape the solution and how best to procure it in the most effective way, ideally with the outcome being a direct award. We will find companies driving ever more for direct awards to get out of this extremely expensive competitive tendering space. And so co-solution, shape procurements ideally towards a direct award, and certainly try and manage out as much of this compliance stuff, or make it as efficient as possible. And clearly, if it's your solution that you're being asked to demonstrate compliance to, then that will be a lot easier. You should have the content, or you're not inventing the wheel, because hopefully the solution was your idea. So you will have to focus on this more and more in the next phase in terms of bid, no bid and qualification. And so let's make sure we make good bid decisions, because your cost of sale is going to be higher. Your risk of being non-compliant and your bid ending up in the bin is going to be higher. And so you must be much more selective. And then, of course, in the last phase, let's make sure where you do have to competitively bid things, that you've geared up for those key bids, you've resourced them effectively, because it's going to be a bigger fight. You may have to answer reams and reams and reams of compliance stuff, and you do need to be good in that end game. So for as much as my post on Friday was about you still need win themes, we should be influencing clients through that funnel, particularly in capture, using those win themes and all of the human engagements you might get. You've still got to be able to break questions down, scoring criteria down, storyboard effectively, check you're answering all of the question, those basic bidding skills you can use AI to help with, but you humans have got to have your head around it. It can't just do it for you. This is going to be quite precision stuff, I'm afraid, and require a lot of time and effort. So be selective, gear up for those key bids. So hopefully you find that useful. We'll do a blog post on this on Friday as well. Hopefully you'll find that useful for what we're about to face. Thank you.